Other than that,
it's awesome. I really enjoyed the Halo Firefight.
Shit, David, what you doing?
Okay, so other than Halo Firefight, which I've enjoyed, this is how I know I enjoy it, because I play it even after you leave. I keep playing. Usually I'm like, if I'm not playing with friends.
Not just that, but you want to keep playing after we talk about it on the show or something.
Yeah, exactly. A couple things. One thing that I did this week is we talked about this game or software. It's called Tabletopia. It's board games that are a digital version of it. Me and Gerald played a game that's not out. It was on Kickstarter. Went buku crazy. It's made by Stonemaier Games. It's called Scythe. And it's what they would traditionally call a 4X game. Exploration, exploitation.
Sorry, did the Kickstarter fund the digital version of this game or a real physical?
No, a physical version of the game,
God.
which will come out in August.
You should get it.
I'm thinking about it. Yeah, it's like it comes with a lot of pieces. But normally 4X games. I know. It's demonstrated from behind me. No, I'll probably pick it up. I love Stonemeier's games. They make really good components. Originally, I think they were a manufacturer that made like upgrade components for other games. So their components are always out of this world. But this game has this 4X idea behind it. But normally 4X games like Twilight Imperium, there's a whole bunch of other ones like Eclipse. There's a whole bunch of these other games. They're grandiose, they're big, they're time consuming, and they're complex, right? For just the sake of being complex. I mean, that's the whole idea is like, like a 4X game kind of is.
Yeah, like a video game. Yeah.
Like Star Wars Rebellion or Civilization. It's, there's battling, there's resource management, there's territory control. There's all these things.
Kind of like internal government like thing.
Yeah, so there's and you're keeping track of multiple different things. Yeah, you're worrying about culture, you're worrying about population, you're worrying about resources. But for some reason this game is like smooth. Like
I feel like when you were going over the rules, I'm like, oh, here we go. This is gonna be a super heavy hours game.
Yeah,
and it definitely we're not done with the game. We didn't finish playing.
That's actually I'll get into the Tabletopia version of it, but yeah,
the Tabletopia version. But I feel like once we got the hang of it after a few turns, you're like, oh. This isn't like
the board makes sense. It's one of those games where there's a whole bunch of pieces in front of you on your player board, and as you pick up the piece to put onto the game board, it indicates when you lift it up, it indicates something underneath that now you must pay because you've gotten an extra resource. So let's say you put a benefit or something like that. It's very straightforward. It seems like a lot, but once you get everything on the table, once you get everything set up, you're like, and you take a couple turns, you're like, I get it. This is so smooth, and that's hard for a 4X game to do. Normally, it's like, okay. What is it? I can't remember. Let me look at the rule book. And there wasn't that much going on.
Yeah, when we started doing the rounds, there was a little bit of that. Like, oh, hold on a second. But once we got the flow of it, it definitely started going. And it's like the theme of it is right up my alley.
It's the idea is it's the 1920s. I'm guessing after World War I. And it's like this in East Europa, so it's Eastern Europe, and all these different factions are vying for kind of area control, but it's got mechs, giant mechs, think of like Transformers.
But it's not futuristic, but it's like
it's in the 1920s.
Yeah. Yeah, but what's like my
your Rushfit's Union, so it's like the Russian Union, and he has so you have a character.
My main character is a tiger with this hot chick with a gun.
Yeah,
cool.
And then it's cool, and it has worker placement game mechanics to it because you're trying to get resources. It has some combat. It's not really focused on combat that much, and then you've got a lot of making sure people are popular, that people like your faction. So if you go and attack other factions, your popularity goes down because they start spreading bad rumors about you. So it's a good game because it encourages aggressive behavior at certain times, but then it encourages kind of passive. Being efficient, creating this really great engine. It's so much fun because of the fact that it has every turn is a great, awesome, meaty decision, and every turn feels like I love games where it's would you like cake or would you like pie? Each decision is awesome. It's perfect. Okay, I get to do something fun every single turn. And
there really isn't other than what your opponent's doing, there really isn't a drawback to what you're. Other than the resource you have to pay, but that's really anything.
Right, but yeah, if you have to pay something to get an even cooler benefit, get more mechs, and then you get special abilities as you go through the game. And I like when you upgrade something, not only do you unlock a cooler thing to do, you also make another thing that was expensive less expensive. So it's this double awesome. It's just super cool. The artwork's great.
It's rewarding no matter what you're doing.
And since this game, what Tabletopia allows a lot of publishers and designers to do is when they have a Kickstarter version of the game, they can create a digital version on this software, and then people can actually play the game to see if they want to back the physical version of the game. That's genius.
Is that how they do that?
That's how they facilitate that. It's really smart. Smart. But the game comes out, I believe, the physical version in August or September of this year. I cannot recommend enough people to pick it up because it's so simple. It's a game that is normally reserved for like only the people who play board games would play this. But I think if you slowly introduce this to somebody, explain the rules in an easy way, and played a couple rounds, they would get it.
Yeah, definitely.
They might not win their first game, but I think they would enjoy the process. Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. So we're playing the Tabletopia version, which is the digital version of it, which I really enjoy because at any time we can stop, pause essentially the game, and then come back to it. Because this game takes a little bit of time.
Midnight on a Wednesday.
Yeah, we have to stop.
To work the next day.
Exactly. But it's just cool too because it still maintains the feel of the game. You get to look at the board. It's all 3D.
Pieces are really cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Pieces.
And all the artwork is high res, so it looks great. And then of course because Stonemaier Games, the designer and publisher, worked with Tabletopia to make it, so it's like it's got all of the good things.
It's not like Tabletop Simulator is great, but it's one of the things where you're like some unknown person's looking at pictures, and what if they didn't scan it in correctly, or they scanned it in the wrong language,
or you have to upload a photo.
The pieces look like crap because they didn't have a correct 3D render or something weird like
that. So this looks really good, and like everything is just smooth. Like that's all I can think about with that game. Smooth.
But you can't flip the table.
Yeah, that's true. You can't flip the
table. Boo.
But it's a lot of fun. So that's what we played. We're gonna finish it. I'm gonna start doing some streams and stuff like that. I think actually this week I'll do some streams with the designers of board games. Should be fun.
Here we go.
And then we'll pick up with cool. Me and Gerald. We'll do that. The other thing that I was doing, speaking of board games, I played a new game with my family. It's called Kingsburg. It's a worker placement game, but you use dice, which is a little bit different. Normally in a worker placement game, everyone has a certain little like meeples, yeah. And you have different areas on the board where you put your little meeple and it does something and gives you something. So maybe you go to the gold or the fields and you get wheat or something like that, right? In this game, you roll dice, and then based on the combination of dice you rolled, you can go see one of
Yahtzee.
No, not necessarily. The idea here is that there's this king, and he's building out his kingdom, and he has advisors, like different advisors, like maybe the stonemason or the princess, or all these different people, and each of one of those players. Stone Maester? What did I say? Meister?
No, I'm saying, does it have maesters?
I think so. There's a maester. There's a whole bunch of different. There's the blacksmith and all this stuff, and they have a number next to them, like from 1 all the way up to 18. Okay. You roll 3 dice, and then you, on your turn, can combine your dice, and they have to be exactly the number that you're going to get something from that person. So let's say you're going to go to the princess. The princess is like 14. So you can use 3 dice to go there because you only have 14. There's no way to get 14 without up to 3 dice. And then you get it, but it blocks anybody else. But let's say I have a 6, a 6, and a 3, right? So I could go to 12 and still have that 3 left over.
To go to the lesser, you can do like more lesser things or one
big thing. Yeah. And so you start blocking people because okay, I see that you have a 3 left and I have a 3 and I get to go before you. And if I put a 3 on the 3 dice on the 3 spot, you're screwed. You have to pass. And then you're building stuff as you get resources and you build your kingdom up. You get little castles and different blacksmiths and guard towers. And then it has a season track. So at the end of every round, winter is coming. That's what we kept saying because winter is the last one, and that's when bad guys come and you have to try to defend your kingdom. And if you don't,
work together, or each person has their own kingdom.
Each person has their own little kingdom, and you're building buildings. You're going to the advisors. You're rolling dice. It's a lot of fun because of the choice. Normally in worker placement games, and this isn't always, but there always kind of feels like that's where you should go. Especially the first few turns. It's like, well,
I'm obviously going to get the one that gives me the resources right off the bat, or the workers right off the bat.
Yeah, exactly. This one, because of the combination of dice and how you can combine them, so a 6, 6, and a 3 could be 12, a 9, a 3, a 6, and then nothing else. Or, you can do, and then there's other things that give you additional, you can go 1 higher or 1 lower. There's different things that you could do throughout the game. It's super, super fun. It's streamlined, and it's a lot of fun. So I can't recommend it enough. I love it. I played it with my family, which is that's the essence of a good game. If you could play,
can tolerate it.
Yeah, if they can, and the rule book is not long, it's easy to play. A fantastic game. So pick that up. It's called Kingsburg. All right. Now that we got through What You Doing, let's talk about a couple things. We'll get into the Shark Week thing. We were supposed to do a standard review. I'm going to air out some dirty laundry. Get off my lawn, Gerald.
I'm sorry, David.
All right, we talked about we're supposed to do a standard review.
Pokemon Go.
Yeah, exactly. It's all Pokemon's fault. Pokemango.
I really was dirty.
I'll tell you.
He was dirty too.
Whoa, all right. After Dark podcast.
No, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
Sure.
Take a shower, Gerald.
Yeah.
So normally we're supposed to do a sit-down standard review every week of something that me and you enjoyed. And this week, Batman vs. Superman Extended Edition or Ultimate Edition came out.